Welcome to Celebration Conversations. I'm your host, Sarah Taylor Young. Join me each week as I share inspirational conversations with fellow co-writers, artists, and friends. Here at Celebration Conversations, it is my hope that you will find motivation and celebration in your own story. Let's get to it. Thank you for tuning into a special episode of Celebration Conversations. This week, I am with Aja Tate from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Aja is currently celebrating sobriety from drugs and alcohol. She is truly a survivor, and she is worth celebrating. Be sure to check out Second Chance Vision Ministry if you or someone you know is in need of help escaping domestic violence and/or drugs and alcohol. Visit them at www.scvministry.org. All right, today I'm with Miss Aja Tate. Aja, I met you through Second Chance Vision Ministry, right?
That's correct.
Yes. How did you get involved with Second Chance?
I met Miss Judy Smith through a Mothers Over Murder meeting, and that is a meeting where women or men get together who've lost children, and they come together and they basically have a meeting and are able to share. And Miss Judy was at a meeting one day, and I've just been hooked on her ever since.
Yes, she's a good lady. She's the ministry leader at Second Chance Vision Ministry. Tell me a little bit about you and your childhood growing up, your journey.
Well, I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and I had a pretty decent childhood for the most part. Very family oriented. Grew up with a lot of cousins, my siblings. Had a pretty decent childhood growing up. Some things, um, some things were hard to deal with at times, like molestation and things of that nature. But for the most part, it was a decent childhood. My mother did the best she could with it.
So, tell me a little bit about being introduced to drugs. When did that start?
I was 17 and a half when I actually was introduced to drugs, and I had ended up dating an older guy, and I just became curious as to why he was staying out all night and things like that. So I made him take me with him one night, and he showed me what it was that he done, and curiosity killed the cat pretty much. I asked to try it, and I pretty much went downhill within about 2 weeks, and it happened pretty quick. And my drug of choice was cocaine and alcohol. So like cocaine ruined my life like almost immediately. I lost my car. I lost 3 bank accounts. Like I closed all 3 bank accounts out. My family put a missing person report out on me because like I was so hooked on the drugs that I didn't even want to go around my family, and I was brought up to be around family. And it really got a hold of me really, really fast.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say has helped you the most in as far as staying sober and getting out of that life?
First thing first is God. That's where my strength comes from. When I'm at my lowest, He's always right there to lift me up. So the main thing is God, and then after God, my children inspire me to want to do the next right thing. I have been through some. My oldest is 12, and I've been addicted to drugs before she even came. So once I had my first child, like I became a functioning addict. I went to work every day. I paid my bills, but I still chose to get high and drink every single day, no matter what. This was my life. Like I lost years. Like it's just a blockage of years where I've just missed out on life because I chose to be high. Like I lock myself in a room. I only come out to work, and once I get off work, it's to the room and nothing else mattered. My children definitely give me strength. I didn't realize how important they were to me until they were taken. I knew I loved my children and I knew that they were important to me, but when they were actually taken from my care, that was the biggest eye opener because I was confused. I didn't understand. It's parents out here that's beating their children, not feeding their children, and I feed my kids. I take care of my kids, but I also do drugs. And you cannot take care of your children high every day. But you say that you are taking care of them, you're not. Somewhere along the line, you are damaging
Mm-hmm.
the children. And I did not realize that I was damaging my children. I did not realize that I was causing them to become depressed.
Mm-hmm. When did that awakening kind of start for you? When did you start realizing that you were kind of headed down a wrong path and you needed to get sober?
And let's see, we can start at 2017. 2017 was the first year I went to rehab. Um, when I came home from rehab 4 days later, my brother was killed by a Metro police officer.
Mm.
I lasted about a month after his death. And once I took that first drug, and I was like, wow, I don't have to cry anymore. I don't feel this pain anymore. So, like, these last 3 years have been a spiral for me. Like, it's like out of control. I was to the point in my life where I was even carrying a child, and I still did not want to stop getting high on drugs. And I know I'm not alone. So to the woman out there that has carried a child and has used while carrying a child, our hope is still not lost. We're only human and we all make mistakes. So, I'm not gonna dwell on it and I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, but I will take it as a life lesson. I will take it as. I actually carried my son, and just to be all the way transparent, I actually I was getting high when I went into labor with my son, and that I have to speak it because if I speak it out loud, it loses a grip on me sometimes. That's a grip on me. Like, I'm not afraid to be honest today, and that's one thing about this program. You have to be honest, open minded, and willing. Um, or you're gonna be stuck if you don't have those three things. Like, you have to remain honest to yourself. You have to remain honest to your children, your family, and because when we're in addiction, we lose trust. People lose trust in us, and it's hard to gain those things back once they're broken. But you can gain those. You can gain it back, and your family will trust you again. So. Yeah.
So, what are some steps that you have taken to kind of get back healthy and on the right path? What are some tips and tools on a daily basis that you use?
Well, for me, I have to attend meetings, NA meetings, AA meetings. I have to attend these meetings because it's a group of people who understand me. When your family supports you, but they don't really understand you because they haven't really walked, you know, in those shoes. They haven't ever done those drugs the way you've done them. But when you get into an NA meeting, they understand you, and you can express yourself, and there's no judgment there. So the main thing is making meetings and staying involved with positive people because who you surround yourself with is what's going to probably come through you. So I choose to surround myself with positive people. Miss Judy with Second Chance Ministry, she has been an absolute blessing to me. And through her, I was able to meet you and a lot of the other beautiful ladies. So I'm grateful. And it's like, what the devil meant for my bad, God has turned around for my good. So, yeah.
Amen. Amen. So, tell me about some of the things that Miss Judy helped you with, or Second Chance Vision Ministry helped you with.
One of the biggest things is the encouragement that she gives me. She truly encourages me. And you beautiful ladies, if it had not been for you all, I don't know how I probably would have eaten over this last month. So I really appreciate the groceries, and I appreciate the gifts, the books, everything that you all send my way is they're all positive things, and they encourage me and they inspire me to want to continue to do the next right thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's just awesome. That, you know, those seeds that were planted are now kind of starting to grow in you. And, you know, the reason why I want to help women like you so much is because I was there. I was there. And I remember what it was like. And I remember how much it meant to me, just a small act of kindness, and
Yes.
how far that went away, how far that went for me. I remember when I was coming out of my abusive situation with my first husband, I remember my mom, she just took me out to go shopping. And my husband at the time, he had gotten rid of a bunch of my clothes without asking me. I don't remember the reason why, but apparently there were too many clothes in his closet. So I didn't have very much, with the exception of my work uniforms, you know, and I was going to I was working at a preschool. So I didn't have a lot, and I didn't wear lots of makeup, you know, I didn't take care of my hair as much.
Yeah.
So she just took me, she pampered me. She went, paid to have my hair done, got me some clothes, and I'll just never forget that. And that, just those simple acts of love. And it was just like the prodigal son story, you know, when he comes back and he tells his father, I'm sorry. And his father's like, it's okay. Get him the finest jewels, the finest coats, and all that. So it goes a long way.
It does.
What would you say to someone who is currently struggling and maybe not sober?
I would say to that person to not lose hope. Hope is not lost. You may not be sober right now, but you could take small steps. Me, I would encourage a person to go to treatment, to go and get help. You know, there are centers out there, wonderful places that are willing to help us get off drugs and to put our life back together. The dark, it's not always dark. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we really just have to want it. We have to want it, and I need it. I not only want it, but I need it. I gotta have it. So just to remain hopeful and pray, and just ask God to remove those desires from you.
So I've heard that you have to hit some sort of bottom in order to start getting back up. I remember my bottom coming out of my abusive relationship with my husband. I remember that day. What was your bottom like, hitting rock bottom?
I've been there a few times, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I just, my children play a big part in my life. So when I remember one particular year, I had just had my second daughter, and she was about 6 months, and it was around Christmas time, and I had put the Christmas tree up, and when I looked about a week later, I was sitting in the living room with the kids, and I looked over to the Christmas tree, and it was about maybe 3 weeks before Christmas, and it wasn't one gift under the tree. And I snapped. Like when I say I snapped, like I snapped out of it, because I was like, hold on, something is not right. And I am supplying another man's Christmas for his children with the money that I work hard for. And my children have nothing under the tree. That year I quit cold turkey. I quit doing everything. And it lasted about 9 months. but that was that was a bottom for me right there. My last bottom was I stayed in the bed for about 3 weeks, depressed. I didn't want to get out the bed. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to comb my hair. There was nothing that I wanted to do unless you put drugs in front of me. It was nothing that I wanted to do. And then I wrote a poem. I ended up writing this poem, and it's called Walks. And I don't know where those words came from, but they encouraged me that day. I decided to get up from there. And I don't know, Sarah. I've had a few bottoms, and they never feel good. But each one has always strengthened me even more. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, how did you get yourself back in this position? I could think of it like that, or I could say, okay, Aja, let's step on top of this. Let's step on top of this stone, and push that down. Let's step again and let's push that down. Like I have to take my lessons. I have to suck it up and roll sometimes, and that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, for those that are struggling with sobriety, is there a certain place you suggest they go or talk to?
I went through a treatment center called The Next Door. Wonderful place, and also Buffalo Valley. I learned a lot. They give us tools to use. Like the world is a garden, and they give us tools to navigate through this garden, to plant seeds and to be able to see the works when it's done. Like they give us the tools. It's just up to us to utilize them. But I would most definitely recommend a treatment center. When I was at The Next Door, I actually did a short documentary with the Jesus Calling book.
Yes, Miss Judy told me about that.
Yes, and it like blew my mind that they even considered little old me, And but that let me know like God has a plan for me. Like I am not meant to stop right here. And I refuse to believe that I'm meant to stop right here. No matter what comes my way, no matter who tries to tear me down, I will not be stopped. And today I choose to push forward. You have to, I have a mind, and nobody's not going to, I'm going to use my mind. You're not going to minimize my mind or anything like that. So I encourage a woman to be strong, know who you are, and not be afraid. Not be afraid. And sometimes you have to take chances. I left my home of all my life. I'm 31, and I came to Chattanooga a month and a half ago with no family here. But sometimes we just like have to jump out there. I found faith, and we have to trust that the Lord will take care of us, like He said. I think I just went left field on you, Sarah, but
No worries. Yeah, who do you encourage those who are struggling with sobriety to talk to, and who's maybe not such a good person to talk to?
oh, okay. I can start with who's not a good person.
Okay.
If someone in your life is negative and always putting you down and your thoughts down and your opinion doesn't matter, I would not encourage you to talk to that person. If you're stuck in an abusive relationship, I would advise you to get a restraining order. Take the proper steps that you have to take. There are people out there that advocate for women like us. Get in a support group. I would not encourage you. I don't talk to people who don't really understand it. To a certain extent. And it's hard to open up because when you're 31, for me myself, when you're 31 and you have a crack addiction, being honest. But I encourage you to get into church as well. Surround yourself with positive women, and for women, I would say focus with women. Because men are a distraction to us sometimes, a lot of times. So surround yourself with positive women. Um, church is the number one thing. I know the COVID is going on, but it's church online. And I just encourage you to like stay close to God, because he provides the help that you need. He's going to provide it for you.
Yeah. What about accountability?
Oh.
Do you have some accountability partners?
Yeah, that's what I go to those meetings for.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then my mother, she plays a big role in holding me accountable. She doesn't sugarcoat, she tells me just like it is. Aja, you sound like, you about to go, you about to get off the wagon. That's what you're sounding like, Aja, have you been to a meeting today? So I do have people who hold me accountable, and I also hold myself accountable every day. Like I have to play the tape all the way through. So if I drink today and if I use today, then I lose today. If I drink today and I use today, my children are much farther away from me now. And I'm still fighting to get them back into my custody. So if I use, everybody around me, they lose.
Yeah, that's a good saying. Was there anything with Second Chance Vision Ministry that just really stood out to you and made you feel the love of God? Or were there a multitude of things?
It's a lot of things. Like from the prayers, like I don't know what it is, but when when Miss Judy prays, or when y'all pray for me, I could feel things moving. Things begin to shift. So the prayers, the encouragement, the groceries, the positive attitudes, everything that you ladies give, everything that you all offer, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, I'm blessed to be able to have ladies like y'all in my life. Like, I didn't even know it was beautiful women out there like that.
Oh,
seriously. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me, what does your future look like? What are you hoping to do?
Well,
once things kind of get settled and you're settled in, what are just some things that God has on your heart?
So, yeah, the first thing first is getting settled in Chattanooga. And then I actually would like to finish getting the last 2 parts of my GED. And then from there, maybe getting into taking some college courses. And then from there, I've already told Miss Judy that I want to work with this ministry. So that's big on my heart. I can't wait till she breaks that ground,
Yes, yes, that's going to be amazing. Yeah. Tell me a little bit what your life is like now that you're sober versus when you weren't.
Oh, my life today is not a mess, for one. I actually have a healthy life right now. I wake up early in the morning. I don't sleep till 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening anymore. I could just see God working, like His promises are just unfolding before me every single day. Now that I'm clean and sober, like I'm able to be a vessel for the Lord. So and that's a big deal for me. I ask Him to use me in any way that He will have, because somebody out there needs to be reached, and if I can reach somebody, then I'll do just that for Him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the circle. It continues, right? Mm-hmm. So what are some health things that help you with your sobriety, like exercising? Mm-hmm. Is there certain meals, nutrition, does that play a role?
Well, I'm just a country girl, so
I feel you. Yes.
Cooking is actually a coping skill for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I eat a little more healthier. I cook a lot more actually now. More fruits and vegetables. Because I need my energy, and but I don't know. I can't really give advice on that end because I'll fry some chicken in a minute. So I don't know.
You fry some chicken, then go take a walk and you work it off.
Now that right there is a walking trail here in Chattanooga down by the river.
Okay.
And I actually love that walking trail. That I go there and I walk and I get to talk with God and I can hear him talk back sometimes. If you just gotta listen for it.
Yeah. So let's talk about your writing for a little bit. Miss Judy and I were talking, and we're reading your testimony from the Second Chance benefit concert that we had a little bit ago, and we said she's got a knack for writing, and Miss Judy said, "Yeah, she does." Is that a coping skill for you? You talked about poetry a little bit.
It is. You know what? I never wrote a poem a day in my life, but I wrote that one. I tell you, when I wrote that poem, I'll be honest again. Like I was coming down from like a 3 or 4 day binge, and I was like hungry. I was tired, and I wrote that poem, and it blew my mind. Like the words that came out of my mouth, and then I didn't know I had a voice, and I didn't know that I could even write until my brother actually got killed. I didn't even know I had a voice. So, but yes, that is a coping skill, and I love to do it. And I don't know, maybe he'll take me somewhere with that one day,
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. One of my coping skills is writing songs. Like when I came out of my abusive relationship with my first husband, I wrote 2 or 3 songs, and they were just so heartfelt. I wrote them in like a day or 2. Sometimes you don't write a complete song in one day, but I wrote like 2 or 3 in the matter of a day or so. So it just poured out of me, Yes, we all need those creative outlets and everything. Well, thank you so much for being on here and willing to tell your story. Where is the interview with Jesus Calling again?
It is online. It is with The Next Door.
Okay.
2019 in The Next Door in Nashville. And you just Google The Next Door and pull up the Jesus Calling, and it's on there. And another special lady that I would love to talk about is Miss Kelly Johnson. Like, she is the bomb, too.
Yes. Let's talk about Miss Kelly. How has she influenced you?
She is just the sweetest. We had a Diamonds and Pearl event with Miss Judy. That's the first thing I don't know how I ended up there, but I was like,
what is a Diamonds and Pearls event?
Where the Miss Judy had put it together, and Kelly Johnson actually sang there. We had dinner, and like the ladies, we had a woman like assigned to us, and they took care of us, and like we were able to tell some of our testimonies. Carol Swain was there, Clemmy Greenlee. I mean, it was very nice, and we got. I believe it was at the Diamonds and Pearl event where I can't remember his name, but he told the story of where they threw the one brother in the pit. It's in the Bible. But it kind of struck me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, okay, I've been down for so long, and I thought I was going to be stuck here. I thought I was going to die in the position that I was in, but here I am. I'm alive today. So that's kind of what I got from it. But yeah.
Yeah. So how has Miss Kelly Johnson ministered to you? Is it her music? Is it just her acts of kindness?
It's her acts of kindness. It's her music. And I had actually sent that poem to Kelly Johnson, and she was like, "Can I do something with these words?" Like, what? Me? Sure. Sure, absolutely. And that meant a lot to me, like, for a songwriter like her asked to do something with my words, you have at it.
Yes. Well,
So you're done with it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to play an instrument or be musically inclined in order to write songs. You team up with a good melody writer, or you team up with a good instrumentalist, and they kind of help you. Some people are really good with melody, and then some people are really good with lyrics. There are some people that are really good with both, but usually it's one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see you doing that, Aja. I think you should totally do it.
I would love to. If anything to encourage the next person, man, woman, child. Like, I really have a heart for the youth, because the youth is just that we have a lost generation out there right now. We really have a lost generation out there. And if I could help somebody, I'm down for it. And it's like it's beyond the youth too. It's the parents as well. Like, I really believe you can retrain your brain. You get around different people. I grew up. I'm just coming out of a rough neighborhood. So all my life I ducked and dodged gunfire. The surroundings just have never been well. But today I'm blessed. I'm living in a 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms. God is showing Himself to me every single day.
And He will continue to do so. Glory to glory. Well, thank you so much for being on the Celebration Conversations, and it was so good to have you.
Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. Don't go just yet. I would love if you headed over to iTunes and left a review. It makes a huge difference in getting Celebration Conversations out there. Let's celebrate together. While you're at it, make sure to share this episode on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever your social media platform is. I would love to connect with you and hear about your celebration story. Come find me on Instagram at styoungmusic.